Hello, my name's Adam Lane Smith, and I'm an attachment specialist. Today, we're going to be talking about what attachment is, because that's one of the number one biggest questions I get in my work. When you say, I'm an attachment specialist, people have no idea what you're talking about. So, what is attachment? Attachment is the way that two human beings connect together in a secure way that they believe that connection will not be easily broken. You're attached. You're not just going to pop off. That's why it's attachment, is because you're connected and securely connected. It looks like believing that other people care about your needs, care about what you want, and will do what's right for you without exploiting you. For some people, that sounds impossible, and they can't imagine that. Many people have what's called broken attachment, where they do not have that secure connection with other people. And there's a reason for that. We learn attachment from our parents, from both parents. Even if only one parent is present in our life, we're learning attachment from the other person because now there's a 50-50 shot that people will abandon us or walk away for some reason. The child's brain, and from the moment of birth, especially in those first 6 months, and up until the child is about 12 years old, a child's brain is trying to figure out, how are people going to treat me? What do I deserve and what should I expect from others? What is my role in my relationships? If something good happens, everything is perfect, and the parents give the child the nurturing that that child needs, the child will learn people around me are stable. They love me. They care about me. We will meet each other's needs and we can attach securely. I don't have to worry. If something goes wrong, and many times it does, for a variety of reasons, if something goes wrong, that child's brain doesn't understand why. A child's brain is built for cause and effect. If they drop something, they learn about gravity. I dropped it, it hit the floor. Me dropping it caused it to hit the floor. I threw this toy and it broke that lamp. That I caused that lamp to break. The brain also does this, unfortunately, when someone hurts us, when someone abandons us, when someone doesn't give us what we need. It's not all about the bad. Sometimes it's about missing the good. Some parents who have attachment issues themselves pass that attachment to their children just because they don't know how to securely connect and show that secure connection to their children. So their children grow up with anxiety and attachment issues themselves, even though they were never abused and they never understand why. That happens a lot. It's generational attachment issues. Very common, unfortunately. Now, the way that attachment works is once a child's brain starts to believe that that child caused someone to hurt them, neglect them, not give them what they need, the child's brain says, why did this happen? There must be something wrong with me deep down inside of me that everybody else can see that causes them to treat me this way, but I don't know what it is. I can't see it. So now every single part of me is dangerous. Every part of my insides, my thoughts, my feelings, my needs, everything is dangerous. And if I ever open up and show people what I am on the inside, they might leave me. So I have to never open up and show anybody who I am or what I need or what I want or how I feel. I need to create the perfect cardboard cutout that goes in front of my wall that looks like a perfect person who never causes problems. Now you can understand why you could not function in relationships that way, especially even as a child. Children can pass. You can pass for good attachment sometimes. It usually, most often, boils out as severe anxiety issues, perfectionism. That child whose drawing is really good, but they're sobbing uncontrollably because it's not perfect. The little girl who gets an A on her test and is crying inconsolably because it's not an A plus. Oftentimes, that's attachment issues. Same with kids who are jokers and can't sit still and can't be serious. Sometimes that's attachment issues. Same with kids who are defiant, oppositional defiant disorder. Sometimes these pieces are major attachment clues that are missed because that child believes something is wrong with them and the adults around them are not loving them, specifically their two parents. Single parent households are notorious for creating attachment issues, not because the single parent who is there is bad, but they can't overcome the fact that the other parent is gone. The other parent isn't there, and the child's brain says, it's a 50-50 shot if people will love me. Maybe mom, if mom is staying, maybe mom just feels bad and takes care of me because she has to. If I was a good child, dad wouldn't have whatever. Now, those things sound stupid. It sounds stupid for us to say a child would blame themselves for their dad's alcoholism, for their mom being abusive, for dad leaving. It sounds silly because it is. But we walk around with these assumptions all the time because the child's brain forms those assumptions within the first 6 months, first 2 years, the first 12 years. The child's brain learns about gravity. It learns that gravity pulls things down, water is wet, and I am an unlovable piece of crap that makes people leave me. Those are fundamental laws of the universe that cannot be changed, so we don't even think to question them. We don't even go back to change them. And because the child's brain thinks that it is on the edge of abandonment, a child who gets abandoned will probably die. Children can't feed themselves or protect themselves very well. So the brain welds the limbic system, the fight or flight response, to fear of abandonment. That fear of death and anticipation of pain welds to a perceived abandonment. So when we perceive that we might be abandoned, our fight or flight kicks on and we're terrified. This is why it's so hard to overcome attachment issues, is because when you try to connect to other people and try to be honest and try to overcome that conditioning, your fight or flight response kicks on and stops you because you are afraid you are going to die. You are fighting against your own brain trying to fix it. Now, these problems don't go away in adulthood, unfortunately. Oftentimes, that anxiety will boil and boil and boil as the child's brain experiences more and more bad things and says, something bad happened to me. No one's going to help me. So I'm the only one who can take care of myself. I must have to worry more. I wasn't worrying enough. And it clicks the worry up and clicks the worry up and clicks the worry up until it can't worry anymore. And then we switch schools. We go into middle school or high school. Social groups change. Puberty hits. You're trying to join with a partner. You're trying to do all kinds of things. Depression often crashes in early high school. Could be late middle school. Really depends on the child and the severity of the issue, but depression crashes in typically. Sometimes they pull out of it. Sometimes they make it. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes if it's really bad and there's been sexual abuse, sometimes they blow up into panic disorders, panic attacks, and they don't even know what those are. They can't stop panicking in terror. They can't stop horrible symptoms that almost feel like a heart attack. Sometimes that blows up again into bipolar issues, into manic, hypomanic, various issues that you can have as your brain continues to deal with this ongoing stress. And at the root of it is this belief that you are unlovable, you are worthless, no one will ever take care of you, you are alone, and you must be perfect, but you can never be perfect. It's the need to be perfect when you know you can never be perfect because you're worthless. That is at the core of bad attachment. And we carry that into relationships, and that destroys relationships. It leads people to settle for abusive partners. It leads people to fracture their marriages because you have to play at a constant deficit with other people trying to get your needs met, which are evil secret needs that nobody can ever learn about. And you're not worth meeting them. Even if they're normal needs, you're not allowed to get them met because you're worthless. And trying to meet other people's needs, but you can't because you're worthless. So you have to find people who have really bad needs, really unstable people, really broken people who will probably hurt you in the process so that you can take care of them and make them feel loved and safe and protected so that they will justify meeting your needs. So that if they find out who you are, at least they're grateful to you. And those two people with attachment issues try to form a marriage where they're both doing this, protecting themselves, two cardboard cutouts on top of walls, trying to talk to each other through their cardboard cutouts and walls, and that marriage does not work. And that leads to children with attachment issues because the children grow up in that wondering what the heck is going on. And it's awful. It's really terrible. And that is a huge piece of our Western culture and our Western civilization now, is these generational entrenched attachment issues that not everybody has, but many people have, that have become normal in our storytelling, our movies, main characters. Almost all of them have attachment issues. Everybody has attachment issues. Why? Because it reflects how we feel. It reflects how alone we feel, how afraid we feel, and how worthless we feel. That is the heart of attachment. It makes all your relationships unstable because the fear is that if anyone learns who you really are on the inside, it's all over. That person's going to reject you, and you'll be so crushed that the next person, you won't remember how to be perfect with them, so you're going to ruin that one too, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So the fear is that one mistake made in the morning could lead to, at the end of the day, you've lost everyone and everything because you've been revealed to be a complete fraud. That's attachment. And that's why it's such a problem, because relationships are everything. Work is relationship to the customers, to your employer, the way that you perform art. It could be painting. You are creating a picture for an audience, and that's a relationship to the audience. Writing is a relationship to the audience as they're interpreting your inner thoughts. Every job, every romantic relationship, every friendship, religion is a relationship to the divine. Every relationship, everything in your life is relationships. Everything of purpose and meaning, these are all relationships. And attachment is the core of your relationship. So if your ability to attach is broken, everything in your life will be broken. And they won't get better until you fix your ability to attach. And then you can fix everything in your life. Because if it's all relationships and if it's all attachment, fixing your attachment will fix every other piece. But it's hard. It's so hard to fix that attachment because you're fighting your own brain, your own limbic system, that fight or flight response that tells you if I open up and connect to other human beings, it won't go well. Is there a way to fix it? Yes. Yes, there is. There very much is. And it's relatively simple. It's not easy. It's one of the hardest things that people will ever do. But it's simple. It's to learn to be loved. It's to open up and learn to be loved by other people. And there's a process for that. I've built that process. I'm an attachment specialist. I've written a book called Slaying Your Fear. It's on Amazon. There's an audiobook. It's not a long read because it's a simple process. It's built into us. We know it. The brain needs to unlearn when it's learned and then relearn that we are actually lovable human beings. There's a process for that. There is hope. If this is you, and if you've experienced this, there is absolutely hope for you. Now, you understand what attachment is. The next step is getting ready to fix it. If you've experienced attachment, I would love to hear from you. Let me know.